Okay, moving right along. Next one to read was Geoffrey Hoppe. That's channeling Adamus Saint-Germain. Adamus Saint-Germain. Okay, so I started to throw his cards, and what came out was so far is the butterfly. It's frivolity, but I also see it as transformation. Young woman, so I would say this is him when he probably started doing this. And then this is usually loss of hope, but this has been turned over. So it's speaking about this hope of transformation. Now, what's really interesting is the next card that came out. Now, what happened with this one is the one where it's somebody that's beset by your problems and all this stuff is coming at you. So you're going, well, what is this doing in this reading? Okay, but what happened with this? Let's see if it does it again. Very interesting that, yes, it goes this way, truth, but now you watch. Oh, there it goes. It's saying that it's spiritual, but watch, it goes and it stops. Okay, so what that's telling me when the pendulum is doing that, you start out, and this is the path. This is really what happens. You start out and you have all these dramas that are going on. But when you connect spiritually, these become lessened and lessened. They lose their energy until when you reach realization, they fall away like they never existed. So that's what was going on with this. The next one is, rapidly bringing that energy forward. So if you are fully intent on your path, that energy is going to go forward until you reach that goal of the foundation of where you've collected all of these, the wisdom, realization. Okay, you're like the king on the throne. You've got your foundation, and that's good. Next card that came out again was honesty. So not only is he speaking from a point of honesty, he is speaking from spiritual truth. So let's go forward and see what else we have up here. But this is a really excellent start because, yes, that's what happens when one is on the spiritual path to realization. That's what takes place. You encounter all these thoughts and it loses its strength. It loses its energy until it dissipates, and you don't have any thought any longer, let alone negative thought. You don't have any thought. The mind stills. You go beyond mind to that stillness. So let's go forward and see what else we have. Yeah. Purity. Again, it's immediately circling to say it's a spiritual purity. It's not skewed. It's not diminished, that it's absolute, the pure message that needs to be conveyed. Okay, next is Hierophant. So the Hierophant is like the realized being, or the priest or realized being, the one that gives that spiritual knowledge out for humanity. It's coming from very old wisdom, wisdom of the ages. Next is Winter Rose Promise. Okay. So again, nothing happens by overnight. It takes time, and you have to go through the cold times. You have to go through the hard times, and you have to continue on in your journey before it's going to thaw and blossom. Everything takes its time. You have to put in the time, the attention, intention for it to bloom, but eventually it will bloom. Okay. The promise of the winter rose. Okay, next is, yeah. So this is very much, he's teaching a path to realization. Yeah, because, yeah, okay. Splitting apart, impermanence, collapse, deterioration, separation, let go, surrender, eliminate the old, death. One goes through the death before death. One has to surrender into that before one understands life. Okay? To get to realization, again, one has to go the whole of the journey, and one goes through the death before death. Okay? At that point, one finds out that it was illusion, the drama that one had had, that projection of mind play that creates and forms and holds the world into place. One finds out the illusion that one has had, which creates it as Maya. When that all falls away, then one has entered that direct is, that 0 point balance, that direct is, the mind stills. Then one sees from clarity of consciousness as to what is that ever unchanging, eternal is. And the rest of the drama of persona, what you thought you were, in that moment dissipates as if it never were. Okay. So let's go forward and see what else we have. Rest, reconsider. So yeah, this one needs to be overturned. You don't reconsider. You never turn. Once you start your path to realization, you never look back. You never look back. Those that look back are not fit to gain that knowledge. And one has to keep their attention and intention 24/7 to go forward to realization, to that. If you want to get there, again, you have to give up everything, and you have to have one pointed focus. Okay. And yes, absolutely, stay in the heart chakra. You don't do third eye meditations, you stay in the heart. Always. Very rightly said. Yes, so you maintain balance. Okay. All of the elements have to balance. When you do your breath, you do a balanced breath. That comes along with it. First thing I teach people when Kundalini awakens is how to do a balanced breath, staying in the heart center, okay? Focusing on things, but don't give energy to those types of thought. You witness them and then let it dissipate. Okay, so let's go forward. So Adamus Saint-Germain is a sneaky guy. He's got me doing the whole path to realization in this reading. That's okay. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Oh, I see where we're going with this. Okay, King of Cups. When one starts that journey, one drinks from that cup, okay? You drink from that cup. It's got to be heart-centered, King of Cups. You've got to sit that throne, keep that foundation in place, and get ready for the journey. Okay. Let's go forward, see what else we have. Okay. Yeah. Once everything falls away, then one has to have time for integration. Okay. So again, one has entered that, and you see this yin yang, that total balance. You have the snake that's eating its tail, which it means that infinity, okay? When the snake is totally eaten itself, there's nothing left, but that is, okay, that illusion is dispelled. After one comes back from that, okay, oh, and I like this above here, the diamond mind that takes place. One enters into that absolute clarity, okay, that absolute clarity. But it takes time after everything falls away to have an integration. Yeah. That burden one has carried is at an end, okay? But one has to carry it fully until you get to the end of the path, okay? But eventually it does end, and all of that does dissipate and go away in one moment, okay? Next. Again. Okay, does this reinforce that idea? Back to back. Same thing. Same card. Okay. Yet again, it's not an easy journey. You have to be prepared for it. Okay, you are going to be dragging that stuff along. It takes a lot of years to get to realization. When you do, immediately that burden is gone, but you have to stick with it. Yeah. Then you come to the end of your journey. You start the journey, you end the journey. Okay. And from that point, once that burden is ended, then yes, you become the fool. Because then you enter the play of God, okay? Yes. And then one goes along, carefree and enjoys what's there. That's what's left. To travel, to live, to spend the rest of the days enjoying life. That's what remains. When one completes the journey, that's what remains. You stay there and you just enjoy life, celebrate life for what it is. Sometimes then you choose to go like he's turning back, to give back to humanity, okay? Then you speak of that journey, because he's turned around facing back, looking at the journey as it was, and you give out what you can give back, what that journey is, what it entails, how to go forward. Yes, the inspired juggler. Okay, so again, you go out, and this is a reversed card. It's the Desert Prince, the false promises. Boop. Okay. Along the way, you feel like you're juggling everything when you're doing the path. You have temptations along the way, the false prince, false promises. You avoid all of those, okay? You just keep your mind on the goal and go forward. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Yeah, the great mystery. One enters the great mystery of trust, that transformation takes place. One becomes strong like the lion, but also like the butterfly of that transformation. Great mystery is revealed. Okay, so the rest, what remains is one becomes like the emperor, the start, you've finished your journey and now you're ready to start anew, okay? You've gone beyond all the swords, all of the pain, all of the drama that was there, and you've turned your away from it. You no longer have that in your life. It's done, okay? And you have become that connection, okay? You have come to that connection of that integration with realization, with the absolute, as if one. The two become as if one. Okay, so that is the reading of Geoffrey Hoppe, Adamus Saint-Germain, so we can go back through this. The path of realization. In the end, you become merged in that absolute. When that happens, all of the drama, baggage, everything you had is over in one instant, and you walk away from it. It's never there again, okay? You start again. You start the new cycle, okay? One has gone into the great mystery and seen it for what it is. One has bypassed all of the temptations, okay? You've juggled your way there, gone through what you needed to do, okay? You've gone past all the time of the burden, and it takes a long time of burden. It's a long time to get to the path, to the end of it, okay? When everything falls away, it takes time for integration to take place, okay? One drinks the cup and does the path. It's all about a balance. When you're walking it, you have to keep your airflow in balance, kundalini in balance, everything in balance, and go from the heart center. Remain in the heart center. You cannot turn your back. You cannot look backwards once you begin. You have to be willing to go through the death before death. Stay through it, even during the hard times, the cold times, the dark night of the soul. And you have to understand there's that promise there for the end of the journey, but you have to hold to that promise. There is help along the way. There are the teachers and teachings, that absolute purity, spiritual honesty, okay? And again, you know, it's about transformation, okay? It's about listening to the guru, about, you know, finding out that there is hope, okay? When one starts, one has all the thoughts and dramas that come up. As one goes on the path, they lessen and lessen and lessen until there is no more energy for them at all, and they no longer raise their heads anymore. One enters stillness, okay? One has to continue to keep that energy in motion, continue to go forward till they reach their goal and become yet again the fool. One starts as the fool and ends as the fool, okay? And so that is the reading of Geoffrey Hoppe with Adamus Saint-Germain. Adamus and Saint-Germain, okay? He definitely gives a path to enlightenment, to realization, and it's a genuine spiritual path with the genuine spiritual knowledge, okay? Namaste. Thank you for asking.